I think we're live.
Where's everybody?
Oh, I didn't announce it on Twitter, so
Well, how many Twitter followers you got?
I've got 800 Twitter followers.
Well, if you tweet it out, that's 800 people live then.
Oh fuck! I guess I can go do that. Like it seems like a lot
Okay,
of
I'll
work.
host. We go do that. Hey, everybody, welcome to my show. The show that doesn't have a name. Would it be? No,
Yeah,
you're doing that.
it definitely doesn't have a name. That's where we're at with it.
Are you ever gonna name it, or are
Uh,
you gonna
I'm
monetize it?
not
How much
gonna
money?
go with you. That would be weird. You just happen to be here. It's not like you're my co-host.
Oh, so it's not. You're not gonna announce it. Is
Uh,
it? You're not gonna announce that I'm your co-host officially, or?
I don't know. That's a TBD.
I'm just kidding.
TBD sort of thing, man.
Yeah, and everybody who follows me on Twitter, I mean, I'm a little bit less than what Fiend has. But if you guys did see my most recent tweet about the position that I was asked to fill, you know, I
You
hope
were
that
asked to fill a position. I missed that.
yeah, there was a position that opened up recently. Somebody in leadership announced
Totally.
that. No, at the United States. And you know, it was offered. I'm not gonna say that it was offered to me directly, but um,
I gotcha.
I did turn it down.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So how's that tweet coming? Let's get that thing out. We have Joanna here. We have Blue Eyed Trucker here, dude. Blake, what's up? Blue Eyed Trucker, what's up, dude?
He needs to be focused on his own live stream. I'm not trying to steal his thunder here.
Right. Well, dude. I seen some thunder on his intro. That was pretty sweet. R&M Productions is here. She's a mod. That's an issue.
Oh man, that is. I'm not even watching like who's in the chat here. You're trying to make me tweet things out.
Yeah, tweet. I'm gonna talk. Well, you do that. Can you not? Can you not type while I'm talking?
You know what? I really struggle with doing things simultaneously.
Okay, I'm gonna count to 15 in my head.
I mean, I tweeted out something, so there it is. But like, that'll get like maybe 2 or 3 more people in here.
Okay. Hey, was your kid
hey, remember when we had like 14 people? Like that's called a win in my book.
Yeah, definitely. Dawn Knoll is here. Hi, Dawn.
We're gonna add some people's moderators too.
Yeah. Do that. That's a really good idea. How's everybody doing? How are y'all? It's been an interesting day.
I mean, it really wasn't an interesting day.
Why do you say that?
Well, like there wasn't really anything that happened. Like there was a transport order for Rick Allen to be delivered to the hearings that were upcoming. I think it was the last time that happened. They wrote a transport order to deliver them to the hearings, and then there weren't any hearings. So not really like telling or news. Like it's just a normal like procedural type of thing. I did see a number of YouTube people or Twitter people that wanted to advertise that he was going to be delivered to his hearings and be like, yeah, duh. Like, why wouldn't that happen?
No, that's true. I'm working on a crossword over here, and I need some help on this one. 5 across, 4-letter word, landlocked country in West Africa. Anybody?
Sorry, what was the first word? What was the first word?
The first word, landlocked country.
Landlocked. Okay.
Yep. 5 across, 4 letters.
4
hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My bad. We'll get back.
I don't know.
Let's get back to.
Hey, we'll ask the chat for that one.
Okay, my bad. I won't ask any more questions. There are some ones in here that I. Chad.
Oh, Chad. It is. That's it. Oh man, the chat's so smart.
Wow, dude. The couple of Chads right there, let me tell you. You could just see I see you typed in the chat, "Hey, rescue." You could just say that if you want.
I know. I know that I can do that. I know. Sometimes I just like to be in the chat with the people. You know, like I'm a populist.
Okay. That's nice. How many viewers do we have?
Viewers,
Yeah,
like
let's see here.
11. Like we're small potatoes, man. It's okay. I got a lot on the replay. I got 100 subscribers in like a day, and
That's remarkable.
you know, I don't know. I don't really. I don't care about any of that stuff.
You don't give a fuck about anything, do you, huh?
Definitely not YouTube. That's for sure.
That's pretty apparent, but yeah.
I mean, I mostly want to talk about this weird unhinged Tom Webster video. Like, I watched it, man, and like when I was watching it, like my jaw dropped and it was just like, what is this? And then it seems to spark like a lot of like, I don't know, commentary, I guess. Like
Okay.
people seem to want to talk about this, and
Some people
I
were
didn't,
talking about it.
I didn't really see a whole lot of there. Like all I saw, there that I saw was like I'm worried about Tom. Like, what is he thinking?
Well, I think he was, he was just still maybe has a residual, kind of upset about, his trip that he took to Delphi. He was really grumpy looking in that picture.
Right.
But
Right.
I think he's maybe recovered since then. It's an
I know.
expensive trip.
He's on the warpath, I guess. I don't know. It seems weird.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been on the warpath in this case at one point, except for me and you, actually.
No,
We've been pretty.
I'm not going to exempt myself. Have I been on the warpath previously? Yes. Have I like redeemed my ways? Yeah. Like I'm not.
Hmm.
Like never again. I'm not going after anybody ever. Like
Well,
done.
that's really kind.
You know, I'm here to be peaceable, and I'm a nice guy, so you can talk to me.
Okay. Okay. So, what do you have like a history of going back and forth with this gentleman?
Oh, Tom Webster?
Yeah.
No, I think there was maybe a
You,
Dan live there. I finally actually ever conversed with him or had any interaction with him. You know, I'm not sure. Like, you know, I've previously said like it was weird because he brought it up on that one occasion of what I had tweeted about like something he had said. I think it's really weird that people that have never been to Delphi or the like location really thoroughly comment on this case like they have any idea what the vicinity looks like at all. Like they have no idea.
so
Like
you've been there
sure, I've been there numerous times.
numerous. Okay. Have you ever lived out there?
No, I've always
I heard
lived
some
where
people.
I've always lived where I live, and you know, I'm about an hour and a half away from Delphi.
Oh, I just mean in the woods back there. I heard there was a
No, but
certain type of
man,
person.
in different places there are those people that do live in the woods.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could
It's,
definitely see that.
I mean, it's I don't know. Like I don't think it's typical for a lot of places. Uh, I'm talking about like Muncie area where I like you saw like weird like lean-tos and stuff like out in the woods, like where obviously like people are living like where you're not expecting people to live.
Okay. Yeah. People don't really generally live in the woods, usually critters and
I mean, homeless people will live wherever they need to. That's a reality of
is that right?
the world that we live in. Yes,
Okay, what's your thoughts about the homeless?
I believe that homeless people are people too, and they should
That's
be treated
interesting.
with compassion and Actually, I don't really like. I'm not a big fan of like
Homeless people?
home. No, I'm not a big fan of homelessness.
Oh,
The
hey
people
guys, you heard it here first.
fine. I
Fiend
don't have any problem with the people.
Fiend is not a big fan of the people being homeless or hungry, and he doesn't like people murdering each other. So, I mean,
Right.
these are
Yeah,
very
I'm
unique
again.
things about Fiend that we're learning here.
Right. I'm not again. I'm definitely do not appreciate like murder at all.
No, of course not.
I'm here.
Except for following
I'm
it.
here for justice all the way, man.
Okay. So do you think this video that has you kind of weirded out, do you think this is in furtherance of justice, or do you think maybe it's got all it can maybe
I think there's a lot of virtue signaling in this video, and I hate the word I hate the phrase virtue signaling because like it's usually applied like in certain contexts. I don't know, man. Like it just I don't know what I don't know what the purpose of this video was. I like it just seems like an attack on like individuals that probably didn't really do anything to this individual, and that individual being Tom Webster, and seems really weird. It has my mind spinning as far as like what's the motivation behind this.
mm. Well,
That's probably the big thing. What's the motivation behind this?
well, what if I told you maybe I watched a video. I think maybe it was he got mad. There was a little bit of a disagreement on Twitter between them, and that was a couple years later. Time has gone on, and maybe he was laying in wait, really trying to make a point, and then this came out, and he just really wanted to
I
talk
mean,
about it.
it seems something like that. I mean, it seems like a personal vendetta thing, but it seems weird to like obscure a personal vendetta. I mean,
Yeah,
it's pretty cringy to like obscure a personal vendetta behind, like the murder of children. That's seems like a terrible thing for somebody to do. But like,
okay, so I see where you're going with this. So it's not necessarily the topic, it was just the motivation that you're thinking that it's a little bit out there for you.
I mean, I think the whole thing, like, I don't know what his topic was, is that like, hey, don't like, there's trolls and like, okay, obviously,
I do
but
think there are
like,
trolls.
why do I think there are trolls? I think that there's a lot of mental illness in the world,
Mhm.
and I think there's increased mental illness probably because of the COVID situation, and I think there's increased mental illness because of economic situations.
Okay.
And like think there's, it's a reality, and people just be going crazy.
Yeah, so recap, I see we got some extra people, some new people in here. Hi, Gambies. Hi, Mandy Ray. Hi,
Oh
Audra.
damn! There are actually people watching this. It says
I don't
three
know. I
for me.
hope not, dude.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
We're up to 11 right now, which is really fucking embarrassing, but hopefully,
That's fine.
no,
It's
that's fine.
all.
Okay.
We have a PR issue as far as
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's just like you and me randomly talking on like 2 seconds notice.
we're here for it. So recap. There was a video a gentleman put out. Um, I've watched this gentleman before. Hi, Big Fish, Small Pond. And it seemed he was recapping some alleged private messages that included a quote about uh, was it pictures of the victims, and the individual didn't, without context. I mean, I don't know what the rest of the conversation was about or where the messages came from, but
I mean, I think the question of like why Tom Webster has additional conversation, like what like some of the things that Tom Webster is referencing aren't things that are publicly put out by Murder Sheet. Like I'm gonna name names here, like so, like just not to mince words, but like why does Tom Webster have personal, private like communications from other parties that there's no reason that he should have those?
Yeah.
So let's connect some dots here. Is Murder Sheet just giving things to Tom Webster? Like it's hard for me to not conclude that that's something that is happening. He doesn't want to say that that's happening, but like I don't know what other explanation there is here.
Do you think
and if Tom Webster would like to join my panel, he's welcome. I love Tom Webster. That's the whole name of the show here.
You know what? I really liked that work that he did with the case of Missy Beavers.
I don't really follow a whole lot of other things like real closely, so I'm ill-informed on Missy Beavers, but yeah, I'm sure. I often find this in the true crime community, and it's something that T says a lot of times, like the cases, like you may disagree on one case, and then you'll completely agree on a different case. Totally normal thing to actually happen, but
you know what I find strange in this community, the true crime world in general, is that sometimes like people will learn a lesson like they have in Delphi about a PCA, right? They say, "Oh, wow, I guess we really can't take the police or law enforcement's word for everything that's in the PCA. Like maybe this is really just the state's theory." And, maybe I'll see them on a different live where the topic is a different case. And they're like, "Well, it was in a PCA. Well, the cop said he did that. He must have did that. The cop said he turned his cell phone off." And it's like, well, you remember the PCA that we've been talking about over here in this case for a couple months? It's like a PCA, but it's like just in a different state. It's like they do the same shit,
Right. No, I mean, I totally get that. That's I think you have if there's a hard argument being made that the cops aren't being fully transparent on things or telling the truth on things, like you're putting in a lot of doubt into your own theory of a case. And the only thing that you can do is back it up with something. And well, I haven't seen a whole lot that backs up anything in this particular case.
There's some some strategy there, I guess, where it's they go out, they do all these press conferences, they put out the materials, the audio, the video, and then the photos, doing podcasts, interviews, a lot of media, and then when it comes time to release the PCA and it gets all everything that's in the case or everything that's in the PCA then spreads around, and then it becomes fact amongst the people, and it has an effect in the media and just the general population about what they feel or how they think about a case. And it may not end up changing the way a juror thinks about it, but it could end up having some type of impact on how the public in general looks at the case.
Right. Yeah, dude, you're nailing it as far as like
Thanks, dude.
it's not about like impacting jurors or potential jurors or the public in general. Like it's only about protecting public perception of, you know, other public entities. Like that's the entirely a motivation here.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times some of the stuff that's in the PCA doesn't even come out to trial, which is not
There should be no expectation that anything in the PCA actually gets presented at trial. Nobody should expect that. Like, we do expect that because that's the only information that we've gotten up to this point. Like, so, like, you're really banking on something that's like you shouldn't at all. Nobody should, you know,
well. Do you think that? Do you think
especially
that's
like anybody that's like pro prosecution. Like, dude, no, but nobody can tell me what the theory of the crime is.
Oh, I think a CVS worker had a mental breakdown and just did it. I think that's their theory.
But that's what you're saying. But the state has never said any such thing.
That's true.
You know, like it's. We can all guess at like, what are they actually trying to tell us? And like everybody, I encourage everybody to guess what are, based on what they've actually said, what are they trying to tell us actually happened? You know, my answer is I don't know. I have zero clue what they're trying to say actually happened.
Okay, but you know what I
Because
was
they
trying to
didn't
say.
say it.
Oh no, go
Like
ahead.
you want to jump to like, well, Gray Hughes said this or some, or you know, this YouTuber said this. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. You need to wipe all that stuff. Based on what the state has said, what are they trying to tell us actually happened here? Because I don't know. I can't tell one little bit what they are trying to say actually happened.
Hi, criminalities here.
Oh my.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great live today, criminality.
Criminality should thumbs down me.
Oh, Big Fish should go ahead. Hey, don't mind if I do. Thanks, man. So what I was trying to say, Fiend, was that the PCA, when the facts don't actually come to trial, but they're proliferated throughout the public, and those facts aren't used, it's kind of I have a problem with that. I get that not everything's going to be used, but like, you know, if you're affecting the public on something that you're not going to, you know, make available for cross examination, some type of evidence or some type of statement, then I think it's just going to kind of hang out there in the public and cause, you know, some bias against, um, even if the defendant gets cleared.
No, I mean you're nailing it, dude. Like the entirety of like motivation is like you don't affect public perception.
I sure don't.
Nobody affects public perception as far as a jury or a case result like that, and the end outcome.
You think so?
No, yeah,
Yeah or no?
I definitely think so. They're not. Nobody's going to affect like what the actual outcome of is as far as like guilty or innocent by like doing anything. Like you're basically completely uninvolved. The only like wiggle room here for like having any effect is, do people look better or do they look worse? And the only people that are of any consequence in any of this are like law enforcement, the state. But that's it. It's the end of the list. Those are the only people that matter as far as like how they are perceived in the public.
Yeah. Jurors. Um, oh, we have Simon here. Simon from
I
around
love Simon.
downtown.
Simon's my boy, man.
Oh, really?
Except Simon did a new review of of his re-ranked YouTube channels, and he didn't include me. So
Dude, Simon is everywhere.
Yeah, Simon is everywhere, but
it would be.
he don't want to prop up my channel.
I gotta check that out. Who won?
I know that the channels that that no longer exist didn't win. Was my main takeaway from Simon's video.
What? Okay, so what channels don't exist anymore? Because
well, there's a number of them, and I think it's TBD. But like I think, Greeno is MIA, CJ is MIA.
Oh, okay.
Dan is maybe MIA. I'm not really sure. I think that's a recent development. So like I'd put a pin on that. But
I think he's in an arm wrestling match with I think he has to win an arm wrestling match to get his channel back or something. I heard. Tech Death Hippie, aka me, dude.
You're just messing everything up, dude.
Me?
Yes, you, DB. Like I have to win an arm wrestling match with Adrian. That's the whole thing.
You think you can beat her?
Yes, I can beat a girl. Like, what the fuck do you think I am? I'm not
cancel
Donald
this
Trump.
man.
I'm not Donald Trump, man. I can beat a girl.
Well, I didn't think you were Donald Trump. I don't know that. I mean, I didn't jump to that conclusion because I'm Joe Biden.
Oh, what's Dan? I don't know. There's a lot of shit that's up. Hey, we'll change things. Honestly, like I think Joe Biden is old as fuck. He got COVID, he got a cold, and he had a come to Jesus meeting where they told him like, dude, you probably shouldn't run for re-election. He's probably sad. Probably wants to take a couple days off. Like,
I'm a little sad.
Totally understandable situation.
Guys,
like,
I'm a little sad.
Don't freak out about it. Don't do that.
Fiend's gonna talk over me, just like Donald Trump tried to. But hey, it's all right. I'm just a little tired, guys. I just need to go back to Scranton. Okay, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're fine. I think anybody's kidding themselves as far as like like where Joe Biden was, and like I think it's pretty commendable like of somebody to like the I've come to Jesus. This is the reality of the situation, and let it go. And like, dude, hey, take a couple days and be sad about it. Like, nobody fucking gives a shit. Like, they shouldn't. Of course, you got a lot of people being weird about it and being like, "Where is he? Where is he?" Like, dude, he wants to fucking chill out. Like,
yeah, dude,
not a big deal.
Big Fish asked, "Who was that impersonation of?" That was Bam Margera. It's close. I'm working on it.
No, I'm sorry, DB. Big Fish. What? That's DB's Joe Biden impression.
That was Bam Margera, dude. Okay, I'm tuning it back up in the AI shop. Thanks, Luke. What are your thoughts about Luke, Fiend?
I invited Luke to be my guest tonight, and he's not reliable. So I went to old Mr. Reliable, not DB Cooper,
the United States of America,
and here you are.
Yeah, I got a life, dude. This is it. Jumped out of a plane, didn't work out for me. Now I'm fucking over here groveling for acceptance.
What's up, true crime fangirl? I'd like to hear more about this because, like, have your student loans not been canceled? Because the media tells me that everybody's student loans have been canceled. So, like, are people still sitting out here with like student loans that haven't been canceled? I want to be fair to both sides, and if your student loans are supposed to be canceled and they weren't canceled, let me know. Hit me up in the chat.
Hi, Yellow Jacket. Fiend, say hi to Yellow Jacket.
Hello, Yellow Jacket. I love Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket's she's a real one, dude.
She fucking rules, dude. Yeah, so my student loans aren't canceled. I have an associate's degree in true crime forecasting, true crime speculation, 2-year degree. And then I went back to school after that and got my associate's degree in burrito architecture.
Yeah, and you make some really good burritos, man.
Thanks, man. All right, 6 across over here.
Still working on your crossword.
Yeah. Hmm.
You're not inviting a lot of people to come join the live tonight.
Are you talking about me inviting people?
Oh no, I mean, am I talking about that?
Do you want me to post a link in the chat and see if we can get somebody to come threaten our lives or something?
Yeah, I don't know about just posting it in the chat. I mean, so far, like our chat's been pretty good, so
Yeah.
it you can risk it. I'm okay with risking it. Like I'm a fucking gambler, man.
Are you a gambler?
No,
Oh, me either.
I can't be a gambler. Like
Did somebody put money on Greeno's card?
I would love to talk to Greeno right now because, like, there's a lot of speculation of where Greeno is.
Is there really? Where is he? On vacation?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's essentially on a vacation.
Well, I'm sure he's doing great. I wish him well.
Yeah, same.
You're a bit. I've always seen you in the Greeno live chat. What's up with that?
I like to consume information, and like if I don't know something, I don't know something. So like, there than anything that's said about Greeno, like 99% of it, like I don't actually know that. So
Okay, can I just ask one more crossword puzzle question real quick?
yeah. Well, are you actually going to ask it? Because I can answer crossword puzzles, dude. I'm good at crossword puzzles.
Okay, it's number 22 across here. Movement of water causing a small whirlpool. It's 4 letters.
Wave.
Oh my god, dude, it is wave, isn't it? Okay. Okay, go on. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to like drive this back towards our original topic here, which is how Tom Webster like went insane and did
Not like
a really weird video.
yeah. Who's Wom Tebster? You ever seen that guy in his chat? What's up with that?
Uh-oh. That sounds dicey.
Well, I was just trying to figure. I was like, well, what's this name about? Then I realized if you just switch the first 2 letters of each word, it says Tom Webster.
Right. You got to be super careful about that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, what else? What else do you like about Tom Webster? Say something nice about him if you can.
I think. Oh man, saying something nice about Tom Webster.
I think he looks well groomed.
Okay, I'll go with you on that one. I think he's like moderately well groomed.
Well, I doubt he has any dirt in his fingernails. I'll tell you that.
I don't know. I don't see his fingernails. I'm an evidence based person, so like, his hands do not go into his videos often.
Wow, they don't.
It is very framed only around his head.
Are you trying to say he's AI?
No, I'm definitely not. I'm just saying, like, he he may or may not specifically try to make sure that his fingernails are out of the frame. So I wouldn't talk about his fingernails.
Okay, I'll leave it there. Is there anybody that's joined? Because I can't see people that's joined.
Nope, there are no guests, and I haven't posted.
God.
Oh, you want me to try to like? Here, I can invite guests.
No, I can only like push F at you so many times before I
Wait, I
start to
don't
feel
even
bad.
know how to post this.
I posted it already.
Oh, in the chat?
In the chat.
Oh, in the chat. Okay.
I mean, no one's.
Well, there
Click
you
the
go.
button.
I mean, well, we don't have that many.
You say we don't have that many?
We don't have that many viewers. You hijacked this stream for me like every which way.
Yeah, my bad, dude. I'll give it back to you.
What the fuck?
What?
Simon, are you kidding me? Kramos isn't actually from Chile. He's living in Canada. This
Chilean.
Like that part was obvious, but the fact that he's in Canada is, I think this is breaking news.
Is it? They thought it was me.
Well, I heard it was me too. I've heard you were me. I've heard I'm like 8 different people. Like
Do you ever just get DM'd accusations?
Yes, I do.
I do all the time.
Oh, right. Hey, you're this person. I'm like,
wait a second.
I'm obviously not, because I'm just me. Like, I'm not anybody.
Y'all are crazy.
Y'all are very crazy. It's okay. We love you.
I don't. Hey, can we get some questions in the chat? This is
our
second live, and we're already stalling out.
Here we go.
Who is this?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Oh,
good evening, Simon.
Good to see you. I'm glad you've got your new channel going.
Thank you.
This isn't a channel, Simon. This is a psyop, 100%.
Ah, okay. The title is absolutely brilliant. I watched Tom Webster tonight, and he was brilliant.
What do you think about that?
I think so. So I think we have differing opinions, because I think Tom Webster might have a screw loose here.
Well, I don't know whether he's on track or not, but it came across really well. Personally, I've come across trolling today against myself and Frosty, and he's absolutely right. Don't feed the trolls.
Simon, can I ask you, I think I may have come across like what you're referring to. Is it the War Lion?
Yeah, he's.
Do you think that's trolling? I think it's
well,
just,
no, I think it's.
I don't think it's fair to use you as an example.
He's used me as an example several times. So by the definition of, he's insulted me several times on different shows, and by the definition of harassment, that's harassment. So,
well, yeah.
Wait, who's
I think
insulted you?
there is a differentiation between harassment and trolling. I don't know if it's trolling you. I think it's, I don't think it's.
Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't
I
it?
would say it's not nice. I don't think anybody should be doing this sort of stuff. I think there's I mean, I want to be gentle here, Simon, but you're talking about like propping up CJ and Greeno, and these are channels that have like recently self-destructed. So like, I think
Yeah, I agree.
that somebody mentioning you when you continue to talk about them is not understandable.
Yeah, I mean, cool. I never had a problem with CJ or Greeno. Yeah, and I'm a big believer that we are not the worst. Of our. Cool.
We are not the worst thing we've done.
Yeah, we're not the worst thing we've done. Yeah, and everybody that's got says they've got a clear conscience, they've generally got a poor memory. Yeah. So I think Greeno he didn't leave properly. Yeah, I think CJ did the same. He didn't leave properly, but I can understand their frustration when they're doxxed and have threats to the family. So,
what do you think the worst thing Greeno done is? Like out of everything we know, which one do
well,
you think is the worst thing? You don't have to answer. I just
see,
thought there was something obvious. I don't know.
no, I mean, like I say, I never had a problem with Greeno. There's certain things I really liked about Greeno as well. I thought he was a very good interviewer. He grasps things like the narrative very quickly, quicker than his audience. Yeah, I thought Greeno was good. I thought CJ was very good. I thought CJ was prepared to change his mind, quite easily, which a lot of people aren't.
Wait, who is this? We got another character up here, and I am a fan of that. That institution.
I'm not really sure. We've got the maple leaf here. Who is this?
Probably some British guy.
They tell me you're looking for a big break on YouTube. Well, I know a thing or two about that. Why don't you let me help you out? No? Damn, fiend. Okay. Well, I guess you like DB more than you like me, huh?
Is that true? You do like me more than
it sounds like Greeno's voice, but I've got some skepticism. I'm a show me kind of person, so I'm not. I don't know.
You would be skeptical.
I don't know if I'm 100% convinced.
That's convincing to me. I think that just given what he said was credible, he's saying that I'm more enjoyable than Greeno. I believe that personally. I think Greeno's quite the entertainer, but
DB, I'm sorry, bro. Like, actually, I love Greeno's content. I think he's a fabulous producer and a very talented individual. Like he I don't know what all else he gets into, so I won't vouch for anything other than that. But I think his content creation.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I haven't seen you create anything.
It definitely sounded
I
like
haven't seen any. I haven't seen any documentaries, but I've seen a lot of clips of stuff.
I couldn't even figure out how to add a intro that included a video.
Oh, they've gone.
Oh no.
Yeah, Simon. I don't know if that was a real they there, a real there.
It sounded like Greeno, except the thing that made me think it wasn't Greeno was there was a Canadian maple leaf. And I was wondering why Greeno would choose a Canadian maple leaf.
That's the thing that made you think it wasn't Greeno.
I think I know what the Canadian maple leaf is all about personally.
Go on.
It's a correctional facility logo.
Ah, right.
I don't know. Perhaps there's a little bit of what kind of dog is that? That's a beautiful dog there, friend.
Oh, it's a Jack Russell cross.
Yeah, I love Jack Russells, man. They're the funnest.
He loves
dogs.
them.
They're funnest dogs.
They are fun. She's very, very loyal. A mother from birth. She mothered us straight away. She's a lovely dog. So fast asleep now. It's 3:40 a.m. So it's past her bedtime.
Oh, you don't sleep much, huh? Or do you just sleep during the day?
I struggle with my sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
I take tablets. I suffer from depression, so it's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's an unusual type of depression, so it's not all the time. So at the moment, I feel fine, but sometimes I can slip into pretty deep depression. So, but it doesn't matter whether I'm depressed or not. My sleep pattern is terrible.
I feel for you, Simon. I've never really had major sleep issues, but I've recently had major sleep issues, and it sucks.
Yeah, I'm used to it now. I can get by with 2 to 4 hours of sleep.
Right.
So, Margaret Thatcher used to get 4 hours of sleep every day. So I'm sure I can.
I mean, I think a lot of people are different. So I think that's
true.
If you have it regular, I think 4 hours is in the range of something that's like potentially normal if it's consistent. But like if you're just getting 4 hours of sleep like randomly, like that's probably not good.
Yeah.
Well, I did see just in the background here. I wanted to update you, Fiend. We do have a $8 charge for that call. It looked like it was a collect call from Canada, an international collect call.
Jeez, dude, no, I'm not monetized. Like, what's gonna fund that?
I don't know.
We're gonna have to turn on like monetization or something. It's like
Oopsie.
how
we're gonna
am I gonna
monetize.
pay for that stuff?
Yep. I heard somebody earlier today was actually talking about some of these YouTubers in this true crime space in Delphi that were monetizing their channels. I think you heard that too, didn't you, Fiend? You said that people were trying to make money off of this case.
I don't think that I had said that. I don't really have a problem.
Oh
with
God,
anybody.
hold up. We have
Hold
another collect call here. Go ahead with this. Go ahead with the call. Caller?
Correction
Hey,
service.
guys, can you like send me some commissary or something? I think it's the least you can do, really. Remember what we discussed? I don't want there to be any consequences or anything. I need a Twinkie.
Oh, a Twinkie. I mean, okay, so that was it. We're up to $16 now. On those calls.
I think there's some way to organize that. Like, you know, I don't personally know like
a bottle drive.
Anything that I don't know.
Can drive.
Hey man, I'll send Greeno $1, dude. I don't have a problem. I think this is maybe fake.
It's a good accent.
Yes.
Really does sound like him.
Yeah, they're doing really good.
Simon, Simon, I would like to introduce you to the world of, deep fakes and artificial intelligence, quote unquote artificial intelligence. Obviously
There's no such thing.
Obviously not very intelligent.
Yeah. I think it's a dangerous thing, AI.
Well, I mean, and caution everybody.
All right, good to know.
To not believe in anything.
I'm just checking out the chat. Purish Luke reckons that's Greeno as well.
Yeah, I think Curious Luke did a purported call between Greeno and CJ, but I don't believe in it wholly. What do you think, Simon?
I've not watched it yet. I do. Somebody mentioned his channel and said that there was some good audio clips in it. So I suspect it didn't happen.
Okay.
That's probably a good thing to suspect, Simon.
So what's your viewpoint on Harris? Because that's big news in the UK.
Oh, we want to talk about politics. DB, start us off. What do you think about Harris?
I think that she has a significant record of prosecuting people in the state of California. She was the attorney general for some time. She's good friends. I don't want to say good friends. She may have worked with somebody else from the LA County Prosecutor's Office that was in the news recently. In the news.
Right. Have a look.
I think she's very smart. She's great. She is going to make a great president. And I also like Joe Biden a lot. I think Joe Biden's great. He's very smart, very well spoken. Everything is cool over here, guys. You know what I'm saying? How about you?
You think Joe Biden is well spoken?
I do. I think he's great. I think he's smart. He's a smart man. I think he's a good man. And yeah. Anybody else answer, please?
Well, I think all the other, I think all the statements are fine. The well-spoken part, I'm a little bit iffy on.
What do you think the chances are?
Oh, there's not been an election where Donald Trump hasn't been extremely detrimental to his party. That's just the reality of, I'm just looking at data,
Yeah, it's just deflection, I think.
The real question is she pro-defense or pro-pros on this case? Does she support Richard Allen?
I'd love to fucking get an answer on it, dude. Seriously, everybody in the chat, talk to your friends. Let's get Kamala Harris to come out on where she is on the Delphi case.
We'll have her on.
Please.
I don't want to make an announcement anytime soon, but
this is an official invitation. Kamala Harris is completely invited to come and talk about Delphi right here on this unnamed channel.
Yeah, we have a guest here. We have another call. We're up to $24 or $26. Sorry, I'm not. Wait, no, $24.
All funds go towards Greeno, where we support Greeno.
Is this Greeno calling though? Caller.
Very strange. It's quiet.
Oh, is this the intro of the documentary that doesn't exist?
I mean, we heard a lot about this documentary. Like, it certainly exists. I feel like it's weird to argue whether it exists or not.
So you think it exists?
Definitely filming it.
He did have cameras.
He was paying someone.
What did you think about it, Simon? Did you like the direction of the film?
Yeah, basically, I thought he was the right man to do it. I mean, he lives in the right area. He seems to have some contacts with the law enforcement before Richard Allen was captured. Not captured, but arrested. I just think it puts him in a unique position. He's a pretty good editor. His editing skills are very good. So I think he'd have made a good film, a good docuseries. But I don't think there's any chance of that now. I think his fundraising was affected by some of the trolling that was going on and the threats and stuff like that. People don't want to be associated with that.
Simon, let me ask you this. Do you think that the people that Greeno was accusing him of attacking him, do you think that's an accurate situation?
Yeah, I think so. I think people were attacking.
You think so? You think Richard Snay and Rick Snay and Hoosier Cold Cases were the people that were
and all eyes
attacking him?
Well, I didn't actually see them, but I did see another channel that were very, very threatening. The Prof. Yeah, I think the Prof has a problem with Greeno.
So that's the kind of the question I've got here is why do you think Greeno is naming these other two people? I'm talking about these other two people. I'm talking about Rick Snay and Hoosier Cold Cases. Why do you think he's naming them if somebody else is actually the one that might or might not be attacking him?
From what I saw, that he did name two channels. He named Rick Snay and he named the Prof. So I can only presume it's them that have caused the issue. I didn't know he had a problem with Hoosier Cold Cases. So I just think that the two channels he had issue with were Rick Snay and the Prof.
I didn't hear him name the Prof.
Yeah, he did
a whole lot, but we were certainly aware of a number of other channels that do talk about Greeno quite a lot, And
he's an easy man to talk about because of his criminal record, and he's obviously got a past where there's been a fundraiser, I think, that's gone wrong, I think. So I don't know the full facts, so I'm guessing, but that's what it sounded like. Because he's been accused of.
hey, that's where I'm with you. That's where I'm with you, Simon. When we don't know the full facts, like, let's be gentle as far as like our determinations on things.
Yeah, except
okay, give it to me.
Yeah, well, all I've done is argue that Greeno was being targeted, and his family were being targeted. Yeah, he talked of his daughter, somebody trying to have sex with his daughter to get at him. Now,
And you know that how?
I know that through what Greeno said. I do not know it for facts.
I mean,
but
Simon, you know that's a reference to Hoosier Cold Cases, right?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, and I don't think it's like anything that's like, as far as I'm aware, is substantiated. It sounds like a little bit. I don't know any facts, but to me, it sounds a little bit like crazy stuff.
It does sound crazy stuff, but Greeno's risked his channel for it. Now that
Greeno hasn't risked anything. He's self-determined, and he had a channel, and he then deleted his own channel.
Yeah,
nobody forced him to do anything. Nobody forced him to do anything.
He deleted his channel, then he brought it back, but he'd lost all his subscribers, so his channel became worthless to him anyway.
Simon, he clearly said that he deleted all his own subscribers. Like that's not something that's like actually like in doubt. Greeno said that he deleted all of his own subscribers.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he said that very definitively, and very like he purposely deleted all of his subscribers. What does that mean? I have no idea. I'm not trying to say more than that. Like, baseline facts is he said that he did that, and obviously, like, that's pretty like believable.
Yeah, I can believe it, but it's an odd thing to do when he decided he was going to bring out a video later.
Yeah, I don't know how it. See, I don't understand how he did that. I didn't know you can do that either, except that like he clearly had done that, and he clearly stated that he did do that. So like I'm gonna go out on a limb and believe that he actually did do that. I don't know I don't know what button you push to actually accomplish that, but like I don't know how else you would do it.
Right. I'm not aware of how you would do it, but it was a strange thing to do, to come back after closing his channel just to put out a threatening video, and that's one thing that I can't. It's very hard for me to say that was the right thing to do, because it's obviously not to go out to bring out another video and threaten people with it. But
it's hard for you to say.
Well, yeah, because it lowers you to the same standard as the person threatening you.
Who threatened him?
Well, he reckons Rick Snay and the Prof
threatened to do physical harm to him.
I think he said that, but I'd have to go back and watch the video again.
Oh, okay. We have a caller here from Carroll County, Indiana, established 1828.
Okay.
What's up with that? Oh, God, who's got a Mac?
I have no choice but to find Mr. Bean guilty on all charges. What's that?
What the fuck?
Federal.
You would interrupt the judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to need to take a break for just a moment. We will be right back.
This whole court is out of order.
Wow. Are you guys surprised that Bean interrupted the judge at his own sentencing?
I'm surprised that I would be sentenced for anything, because I ain't done shit.
Was he sober?
I'm a law-abiding citizen, Simon.
Well,
That's some serious talent.
you're doing well to do that. It's hard work being a law-abiding citizen. It's much easier to break the law, isn't it?
I mean,
No.
no.
Not for me.
This is a very complex question by Simon here, and this is very deep. This is an existential type of question.
I think maybe it's down to the people you hang around with, but for me, it was very hard to not.
Dude, I'm telling you, Simon, whatever you got in your brain wrong. Like,
All right.
like 99% of crime is economically motivated. It's a sad reality, but it is a reality. Like, almost all crime goes away like outside of economic conditions.
When I was younger, it was joyriding. Joyriding is stealing a car and just joyriding it. You're trying to get away from the police most of the time, and sort of having
Those
fun
are
with
the
your mate.
fuckers that fucking bash my mailboxes, Simon.
Possibly,
I'll
possibly.
fuck you up if you fucking touch my mailbox.
So
Don't fuck with my mailbox.
when I was
Some
young,
people don't have mailboxes.
when I was young, that was the craze. Not carjacking, but car theft. Cars were easier to steal, and people used to steal one on a Friday night and prep it for banger racing on the Sunday. We'd do all sorts of things. So, but it felt normal because of the people I was hanging around with. So I always thought that, and I'm probably wrong, and I know you disagree, but it's harder to be law-abiding, especially once you've broken the law. You're no longer law-abiding, you know. Yeah, it's harder to be law-abiding than a criminal. Sorry, yeah, than a criminal. Simon's a live one by Curious Luke.
I would disagree. I think that is not. I think it's easier to be law-abiding. I think there's like there's a threshold to be crossed to cross into criminal territory. Like, most people aren't trying to be criminals. Like, I think they try as hard as they can to be law-abiding citizens. Not everybody, but like relatively. And like, the people that aren't, like, they're extremely affected by economic situations.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, most crime is economic, isn't it?
Exactly, dude. There you go. Like, get on board, dude. Most crime is economic, 100%. These things are all like interconnected.
Would you say they're systemic?
Yes, I would absolutely say they're systemic.
I think you should get Luke up. Luke is
Luke was the person I was trying to talk to instead of DB, but Luke's.
Here we are.
Luke don't want to talk to me, but DB's the real one, so here we are.
What? Oh.
I'm the realest one.
DB, do you follow the DB theories?
Never heard of them. Yeah, I do follow him. Oh God.
Oh yeah, we're in for some trouble now. We're all in trouble.
I'm off.
Hello there. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good.
Hey, Simon.
Hi.
Hey, friends. What's going on?
Is this an AI moth, or is this a real moth?
Hey. No, it's me. It's real. It's as real as we're gonna get. Hi.
You guys don't talk to her.
Well,
I'm just kidding. Hey, how's it going? It's not been
Don't talk
busy.
to her.
stupid ass.
It's been a busy 24 hours. You know. We're glad to have you here.
Has it been?
I'm sure everything has been devastating.
No,
But
it's not been a busy 24 hours. It's been a sleepy 24 hours, and then you get
this came out.
a weird ass motherfucker like Tom Webster like posting some shit. Hey, what you gotta say, Moth?
I've not watched. I like Tom's.
You're a
I-
fan.
I like his. I think that he does a lot of research. I think he presents very well, and I think that as someone who has done a live, stream before, it's a lot of work. I think he does a good job.
He does.
Yeah, it's impressive.
I think he could. He's usually an hour behind on the questions. He could speed it up a little bit, but I mean, other than
Sure.
that, I think he really wants to give everybody their.
Yeah, no, and that's constructive for sure. Yeah, so I'm a fan. I've not caught his video today, but I hear it's really good. So
It's like off topic, not.
okay.
Yeah.
No, it is actually the main topic. It's the entire channel is based around how unhinged and crazy this particular video is.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm sorry.
yeah. And so, like, I would like to entertain like commentary of what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah. Do you mean like on a holistic scale, or do you mean like with this particular creator, this particular video?
I think I'm narrowing in on this particular creator as far as like, I like Tom Webster. I don't know why he lost his mind today. Let's speculate upon why Tom Webster lost his mind today. This seems weird.
And I hear you, Simon. You're saying that was a brilliant video. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought he came across as a victim's advocate really well, and we do lose sight of the victim sometimes. And I think all the goings on. There's lots of goings on that take us away from thinking about the victims. I've rarely mentioned the victims in my videos. I have a disconnect from them for some reason. I don't know why. I've never. It sounds terrible, this, but I've never felt any loss for them at all. It must be terrible we're in a totally different situation to the families.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And I think he brought attention to that in today's video.
Oh, so it was like a victim-centered video then?
No, it wasn't really, but
it
sort of reminded us of the victims and the families. And he pointed out some. I'm not sure whether tweets or Facebook posts by the family showing pictures of the girl smiling. Yeah. I just thought that was a nice thing to do, and he explained the situation with those photos really well. So there's a lot more to it. It's well worth watching.
Sure. Yeah. So
I'll send you a link.
Thank you. Thanks, DB. You the best.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You the best. Thanks, Simon. Yeah, Simon, that was like very insightful and self-aware, talking about how a lot of times we have a disconnect between us and the victims. We don't, and just talking about them and, showing pictures and doing lives, and hashtagging is good, but I personally think there are better ways, to really center them and honor them. And so, yeah, we probably we probably all can relate to what you said. I think sometimes they get lost, you know?
Yeah. I think one thing
Great
that,
point.
oh, sorry, Luke. One thing that I've noticed that I don't like is the hashtag Libby and Abby thing. It should be hashtag Libby, Abby, and Richard Allen. Sorry, Justice.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I made a mistake there.
Uh,
Justice for Libby and Abby
Christ.
and Richard Allen.
You're gonna get banned, dude.
I could
No,
not
sorry.
imagine a worse hashtag than the
Sorry,
one you accidentally said.
I
But I
made a
understand.
mistake there.
No, of course.
You should
Certainly
write.
did.
You should definitely write a letter, Simon. Write a letter.
Yeah. So it was the hashtag Justice for Libby and Abby.
I support free speech, and if Simon wants to champion this particular hashtag, I support him.
I think it should say Justice for Libby, Abby, and Richard Allen, because if Richard Allen doesn't get justice, then that's not fair either, you know. So I believe him guilty, but if he is innocent, then he deserves to be tried properly and gain his innocence, prove his innocence. So I just think that it's hijacked by certain channels, this hashtag Libby and Abby, when they don't actually,
Yeah.
they don't actually care, you know. If it was all about Libby and Abby, there'd be a lot less squabbling, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Simon. I think that there's definitely it's we have to hold both things, true at the same time. We want justice for the girls, and that can't come without due process for Rick Allen. Hell yeah.
Did you know Tom Webster is a Mariah Carey fan?
Without an actual investigation
Well,
determines who is responsible, whether it's Rick Allen and or anybody else.
I didn't hear the first thing you said, because can you say it again, Fiend?
I mean, I don't know where people are coming from with this justice for Libby and Abby stuff, because it should be pretty plainly simple. Justice for Libby and Abby means that whoever is responsible for this crime, whoever it is investigated thoroughly,
right,
brought to justice, and prosecuted thoroughly, and each and every single person that is involved with that, period.
Then they should be drugged through the streets.
All there is to it. It's not very complicated. Like, whoever it is, don't care who it is, bring them to justice.
Yeah,
I think that's well said, Fiend. Thanks. Totally agree.
Yeah. How are you,
Luke,
Luke?
what do you think?
That is the definition of justice.
Right.
But you can have justice for them and also have a system that doesn't make an innocent person another victim.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I mean, I'm not gonna prop up because I don't.
What a surprise! You disagree.
I would, I highly encourage, when you've got a community here, like, I would like for people to get more information on Richard Allen, because whether it proves that he is involved or he is not involved, I think it is very, very helpful. Like,
Simon has a lot of information on this.
Simon's information came way before, and it doesn't actually involve him being in the crime at all. So, but I would love for anybody that has information about Richard Allen, like, you aren't bound by any sort of gag order. Fucking tell everybody and anybody, like, what you know about this guy, whether it helps or whether it doesn't help. It doesn't matter. That's not.
You mean let's throw out innocent until proven guilty. Let's just dig up.
Well, no. I mean, that's your default. You
Exactly.
have to default to innocent until proven guilty, and thus far we've not seen very much substantiating guilty. We haven't seen any much substantiating innocent, but like that's not the burden. That it just isn't.
Well, he's already innocent by default. He's
Right,
innocent.
right.
Have you read Kafka?
We have to default by what our Constitution fucking says.
Yeah.
The beginning of the story and end of the story. Like,
have any of you guys read Kafka? Franz Kafka?
yes, yeah. I was,
Yeah,
I was in a
the trial,
stupid
right? Yeah.
fucking liberal
No, you don't have to be stupid to read Kafka.
Program at some point.
You got to be smart to read Kafka, not stupid. But he's got one book, The Trial, which is about a guy who is he's arrested, he's jailed, he's like jailed waiting his trial, he's put on trial, but he's never told what he's on trial for. And the reader also doesn't know what he's on trial for. And this whole thing reminds me of that. Like the power of the state is almighty. Like that's a given, right? That's why we have to assume innocence in the first place. And the state should always have an uphill battle to overturn that assumption.
For sure. You know what I notice? Or sorry, may I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I notice that.
Go ahead.
Thank you. A lot of times, I think in this case, well, actually, I think we saw it in the Karen Reed, John O'Keefe case too, where the deceased victims are kind of aligned with, or they're assigned alignment with the state. And it's like sport teams. Like you're either pro state, which means pro victim, or pro defense, which means pro or anti, right? And it's just like such a distorted and just simplistic and goofy way of looking at it. I just don't like it. Like, why are we putting the victims? Why are we aligning them with the state who, as far as I'm concerned, have literally just failed for 6 years? Like that sucks. Like, I think that they probably deserve better than that.
I agree. This is like the number one talking point that is not even a talking point.
Well, go ahead and spike that, Fiend. You take it away, brother.
For anybody, if I want to put my prosecution hat on, this is the most fucked up investigation that has ever existed. It is fucked. You got a guy that comes to you within 2 days of the murder, and that's the guy. Okay. And he pins himself, and you don't do anything about it. What the fuck's going on here, man? Like this is not cool. Like every single person involved with this should probably already be fired, because like you already know it's fucked up. Like why are you waiting? Just if that's what you're really saying. But like, what are you saying? Like, we don't have like the actual like saying of like, what do you think the theory of this case is? Nobody has ever said it. Nobody has said it on the state side. What is the theory of the case?
I would love to know.
What do you think happened here?
Whoa. Hey, I do have to go. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have the rest of the Y'all have a rest of your good panel. Have a thing the rest of the night.
Are you
Bye.
you okay?
I'm okay.
He doesn't
okay.
sound okay. He's fine.
I'm
but
totally
he's, but
Where have
fine.
you
he's
got to
fine. He's
be?
fine.
Where have you
He's
got to
fine.
be? Then here,
What do
man.
I
Where have you got to
gotta
go?
have a little hop out of this plane.
All right.
Cool. Catch you later.
So only the cool kids are here. Yeah.
Go,
Phoenix and
go on,
Simon
DB.
and
If you go,
Luke and Mothman.
We're
he's still
next.
here. Okay.
I'm here. I'm sorry, I was muted. What did you say?
Oh,
Fee?
you're fine.
I am here. I'm here, man.
Can I give you my thoughts regarding me reporting at Alan as being doxed?
Well, so
it's
the
just like-
thing about this, Simon, is that I think we've all heard it a
I
number
just
of
wanted to sort of see what your thoughts are regarding a theory regarding probability. Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, Simon, I can tell you what the theory of probability is. Like, I think it's completely unrelated. Like, you're not.
It just feels it to me.
Well,
I
yeah,
know-
no, but that's to you. But like, it's
Yeah.
almost unilaterally, like only like revolved around you and what your
Right.
feelings are. I
I
don't
realise
think
it's not true.
I don't think that it's going to apply to many other people.
Mm.
That's my take on it. I'm trying to put you down or anything. But
No, that's all right. I'm prepared to listen.
right.
Mhm.
I think that, like, you didn't finger him as like an actual even suspect.
No, I didn't.
So right. So that's point number one, as far as like, this wasn't a person of interest in any like, for any reason, for any sort. That would go a long way if it was.
I find that kind of weirder because
I mean, it is weird. Like, if what you're saying is true, and like, I don't have any reason to doubt that like what you're saying is like true. Like, I believe like what you're saying. It doesn't seem very consequential to anything.
I agree with that, and that's why I said probability rather than proof.
Can you
Yeah.
summarize?
Well,
Simon,
I mean,
can
the
you
problem-
summarize in one sentence? In one sentence, what is your
Hey,
Well-
so in the one sentence is somebody contacted Simon, as far as this is a person of interest. It was Richard Allen. Simon was concerned that Richard Allen would be doxxed because of this information, contacted law enforcement because he was concerned for Richard Allen's safety, that he was being doxxed.
That's part of it.
But there wasn't anything there for him to be like involved in this crime to begin with. So that's
This is what I
why
mean with the
that's why
probability.
Simon did that, because he's a good person, which is good. That's fine. Nothing wrong with it.
But it's all third hand. It's all third hand information, basically.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. What I was going to say is, I've always felt it very, very odd. Yeah, and that I've put forward a name that is of an innocent man in my eyes. Yeah. Yet his bullet is supposedly linked to the scene. I could have picked any innocent man, couldn't I? Yeah.
No, but you didn't pick it. You were directed by
I was
somebody.
directed to him, yeah, but
You haven't
I
picked
still presumed
anything.
him innocent.
No, but you didn't pick this guy. Like, you didn't do any analyzation. Like, it was brought to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So what if the same person that brought that to you, or the same people who brought that to you, also put the bullet casing in the soil?
That's a very good point. Yeah.
There you go. That's hey, this is the outside the box thinking that we need in this sort of thing, because Luke is on it. Luke is on
My
it.
only issue with the bullet is it, as far as we know, it was found on the 14th, but we don't know for definite yet. Now the tip, I think Fiend put me onto the tip being number 74, where he placed himself on the trail. Yeah. Now it looks like that came in from the 16th onwards, There is another channel actually identified it as the 16th, but it was the 16th onwards.
Which channel did you see that on? Because I remember you posing.
Yeah, it's this week. It's only this week.
I remember
So
you posing this question, and like, I know that I'm not aware of where that would come from.
No, there was. I can't even remember who it was. I've watched it this week because I argued the point at the same. Oh, I tell you who would.
People can tell you anything.
Yeah, Ma watched the same thing and it came to the same agreement with me, but we could be being bamboozled. But let's say
it came in the first day or two, right? 13th, 14th. Or 15th.
It seems with I don't know, day or two. I think within the first like
day
3 or 4 days, maybe. Like yeah,
which the tip of the bullet,
like 1 to 4 days. I think 1 to 4 days is like easily assumable. Yes,
right.
But
well,
like,
the assumption is that people come up with theories saying that Rich Allen was set up with this bullet. Yeah. Now, and that's because he placed himself on the trail. But that doesn't actually work because law enforcement wouldn't have known on the 14th that he had placed himself on the trail because he didn't place himself on the trail until the 16th or later, supposedly. So he couldn't have been set up. Does that make sense?
Okay, so first deconstruct it.
I mean,
firstly,
both of these things are actually complete unknowns of when Richard Allen gave a statement and when the cartridge was like collected as evidence. Completely unknown. Nobody has this information.
Right. Okay. Well, it's going to be fairly easy to debunk any theories once it comes out, or to not prove it either way, but to definitely debunk.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Simon. Like once there's actual information, yeah,
and
that would tell us a lot. But as of now, we don't actually have the information.
The perfect place for this information to come out is a trial. It's like, I know it's a radical concept, but it has to come out.
No, it is a radical concept, Luke. You're the most radical one here. Like, you're not understanding like what the reality of the situation is. Is like they don't have to talk about the information if they don't want to, and then we're not going to get it. So like, you've got this assumption that we're going to end up with this information.
But the flip side of that is if they do want to talk about it, they have to introduce it. They have to follow the rules, right?
Talk about it will obviously be in the public realm of consumption.
No, but the problem I'm kind of
this specific information we have no guarantee to.
No, but there's a flip side of it, which is if the prosecution wants to bring some information, some so-called evidence, supposed evidence, it has to follow the rules of evidence. They can't just wish it into a courtroom. You know, there's certain like propriety that has to come around evidence, right? And so there's two sides to that argument.
Simo. Moth's just left, I think.
I like Irish exits, and Mothman's an expert. Go ahead, Luke.
So, the prosecution can't just they can't just dig out a bullet from the ground and say, "Oh, here we go." That's definitely Rick Allen's. Like they have to prove it.
Yeah.
The jury's going to see.
Every element of everything has to be proved in a court case. It's it's a weird albatross that's hanging over everybody's head as far as like you have to prove every single element of every single thing
in front of 12 people.
So if you take prove it.
So if you take the bullet, right? If that bullet was found after the crime scene was closed initially,
Yeah.
How can you go in front of a jury and say this is evidence that Rick Allen is therefore attached to this crime scene? Because we closed the crime
Well,
scene 2 days before we found the bullet,
that's like
and hundreds of people.
major issue in the case is like there's a lot of conflict of when this bullet was taken, because there's one singular journalist that has reported on this of when it was taken. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
And she doesn't say that it was taken.
So imagine we take out the bullet from the entire case.
Well,
What is
that's a
left?
huge problem, and that's
Big time.
extremely exactly what the defense would love to do.
Do you think they'll do it?
I mean, based on how the situation is going, no, I don't think they're going to be effective in removing this cartridge from the case. Removing the cartridge from the case is kind of two-pronged. It's either you get it. Most, I mean, like, you're not going to get the cartridge removed from the case. That's completely impossible.
No, because
Like,
that
it's
relies
there,
on a judge being fair.
it's there, or it's not. But you've got like a couple of things that hinge on that, and one is whether, like, you can match this cartridge to Richard Allen's gun. So that's a motion in limine on ballistics. That's entirely removing the judge, because this particular judge already just denied it. There's no going back on it. It's already denied. Would another judge reconsider it? Like, totally a possible situation. I think that's the number one thing that they would love to go back on. And it's the number one thing driving removing this particular judge, is that if you got a different judge, you can tell them, I would like to look at this motion limit on ballistics again. And they might say yes, because it's not an atypical thing. It's a fairly normal thing.
Right.
You replace the judge, you might get a yes on that. That would be a great thing for them to do. The other thing if you can't do that, what do you look at? You look at the gun. And that's not to say that any of these things mean anything, but like, it's just their duty as like protecting their clients' rights.
I guess if you can't get it removed, you're dependent on the jury to see through.
Well, I mean, the other thing that
evidence.
you can do is you can Frank's motion to try to get the warrant out and not get his gun seized. That's it. That's the whole reason to get the gun out. You want to get the gun out, or you want to get the bullet out. And it doesn't mean that those things mean anything. It means that they're doing their jobs. Period.
Absolutely, it is their job. But ultimately, if none of those efforts succeed, the jury is the backstop. And yeah, the state is going to put on a good show, but juries are not necessarily stupid. They are often quite subtle in their findings.
I mean, this some of the whole stuff is that, like, the jury gets an instruction right at the beginning, as far as, if you don't see evidence, you are to include that in your, like, thinking. Like, I think it's fair to assume that we're going to see a lot of that they didn't provide the evidence in this case. Like, where's all the scene evidence in this thing? Like, I don't know. Maybe they end up providing it. I'm skeptical that they do.
I feel like if there was more evidence, there would have been more in the PCA. And there's no obligation on the police to put everything in the PCA. but generally you tend to see more than what we saw in that PCA.
Right.
And then if you look at
it.
if you look at how hard Nick McClelland worked to keep that PCA quiet and sealed, and then how little is in it, it adds up to a real shady picture for me. It suggests there's no more evidence, basically.
Yes,
Well-
that's what it suggests. That's exactly it. Like you're nailing it, dude.
Without the bullet, is there any way of Richard Allen being identified as the suspect?
Only by wearing a pair of jeans that like half the men in the Midwest own, right?
Mm.
And a jacket. Like, I don't think so.
Right. There's nothing that like preemptively like points to this suspect. Like it was a huge shock, you know? Like anybody that followed the case was very excited that like, hey, there's been arrested in this like very important case.
Came from nowhere, didn't it?
And then they would like to see like what you got. And then they immediately said, we're not going to provide you with anything. And then when they did, it didn't match up with anything. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like that like if there's nobody to blame for skepticism except for the state. The state is wholly responsible for skepticism on this case. Wholly. No, like any person is not responsible for their own skepticism. It is only the state that is responsible for their skepticism because the state hasn't provided anything that like makes it make sense. Make it make sense. That's it. Make it make sense.
Exactly. So let's talk about this transport order, right? That came through today. So,
Well, here
you promised me a 3-hour conversation on the transport.
I'm starting my timer for 3 hours, man.
I'm on Eastern time at the moment, so you know, but I'm not doing 3 hours on that. So statistically speaking, transport orders don't necessarily guarantee that anything's going to happen. But having said that, this was the first business day since the lazy judge stuff wrapped up last week. So it feels like Gull was like ready to go.
I mean, I actually did re-review the entire docket to look at like I think I preemptively assumed that there were times where this lazy judge like loophole could be applied, and actually I didn't really find them. Like I thought that they would probably be there because there was a lot of narrative as far as like the judge is being lazy, but like if you apply like the actual standards as far as what would get this approved, I didn't find any. This is why I always drop it way late. But like right now, you've got a potential one. You've got a potential one right now.
Yeah, but it's gonna be, and this is
No. I mean,
she's gonna rule on it and remove that. Like,
we don't know that because this judge made a lot of mistakes.
Even if she does rule on it, it introduces this legal concept called estoppel.
No, if the judge rules on it, then that's what she's supposed to be doing on it. Like honestly, like it's a win either way. If the judge rules on what she's supposed to rule on within 30 days, then you're getting your process. Like that's what's supposed to happen. It's only when it's not happening that it's a real big problem. Like why is it not happening? We're like a lot of people don't understand like how close we are to like they've given her notice. She must rule on things within 30 days. The second that they don't and this applies, like they should be prepared to immediately pounce on this.
Yeah. If it
we will see, like, we will plainly see if they aren't able to do that. You know, like, I will see it, and I'll let everybody know that, hey, defense team could have applied for this right now, right here, right now, and
we know you will.
We're missing their opportunity. I don't know that that's existed previously. They were definitely, like, not correct in requesting this right now. I don't think it was maliciously. I don't think it's frivolous. It was just it's a weird like niche type of like ruling that they probably just weren't familiar with, and that's understandable because 0 people in this whole community, including tons of like law tubers and, you know, attorney advocates and just members of the community, like, no, anybody could have looked at this and said, this will absolutely be denied. Not a single person said that, and they could have. They absolutely could have.
I don't think it was guaranteed that it would be denied. Like I've read, obviously, like you and others.
No, you're
read
reading the case. You're reading the case law that it cites. You're not reading. That's the problem, man. You're reading the case law that it cites and making like some sort of like intellectual argument. That's fine. Completely separate from what we're talking about here. There's like, how do these things go? This was absolutely
But should they go like that? That's the question.
No, yeah. It's that, and that's exactly, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's a completely different argument of how they should go. How do they go? This is going to be denied absolutely every single time, no matter what. As soon as they filed this, there's within an hour or two, like, there should have been like somebody that is more qualified than I. And hell, you know, if I had the wherewithal, I could have been the person that was qualified enough. You could tell this was going to be denied.
But you'd only be able to make that distinction based on case law, though. So you still
no, I'm not making it based on case law. I'm making it based on like what actually happens. I'm making based on reality, not on any sort of legal arguments, because I'm not an attorney. Hashtag not an attorney. You can just look at what happens. Is this what happens? Yes, absolutely. Period. Every single time. Doesn't matter. Is this what was going to happen? Yes, it was going to be denied.
Maybe they should change what happens. Maybe they
no. It's completely different conversation. And on that side, I completely agree with you. Like that on that side, yeah, I think it's bullshit. This is absolutely a relief that should apply to every single person that has had this relief denied. They are not quote unquote waiving their relief. The judge is fucking lazy. Grant it to them. Give them a new judge. Yeah, that's what I think. But I don't make the fucking laws, and I'm not an attorney, and I don't know how you get this laws. I don't know how you get this process changed or this precedent changed as far as like, you shouldn't read the law that way. But is it what was going to happen? Yes, absolutely. There's no question. Like, this is always going to be denied from the second one was filed. The lawyers said it should have known it. Anybody that looks at it should have known it. All the law tubers should have known it. No, nobody cared to actually look at it. Not a single one of them.
I don't know.
It's a hard reality, but it's definitely the truth. Nobody looked at this to figure it out. And
maybe they have a bigger game plan. Maybe Brad and Rosie want this shit changed, you know, and they're gonna. Maybe they won't.
Come on, dude. no.
But it's a due process it's like a black
I mean,
hole, and they need to break it.
I'll tell you, like, I know that they didn't know. They didn't know what the outcome was going to be. Should they have known? Yes. Before they filed it, immediately after they filed it, like, you got so many eyes on this after you filed it. Like, you know, I implicate myself here because I could have easily told you that this was going to be denied. I just didn't.
But based on statistics or based on law?
I mean, based on reality, like, it's
So it's
denied
statistics.
every single time that this is filed this way. Like, yes, not statistics, because, you know, there's some variability when you say statistics. Like, it's every single time, and it's 100%. It's black and white. Like, there's a lot of people that want to, like, misconstrue that this isn't a black and white thing, and there's some discretion in it.
I
There's
think
not.
there's okay. Let me explain why there's discretion in the law, at least. So the authority
you're going on the
wait,
back. You're going on the back end and saying where there's discretion, and that part I do agree with you. Like, I completely agree with you.
right, but that back end is where Justin Faulkner gets his authority from.
No, but he doesn't. He's just checking boxes, dude.
Okay, so if the case law has discretion, which I think it does, and he's only checking a box yes or no, there's no discretion. There should be a maybe, where it gets given to a judge to review rather than an
That's
administrator.
not this circumstance. They've already. I don't know where I do not know where this, like, tipping point exists. But at some point, they said, if you do this, you waive your right to this relief. After that point, anybody that did this waives their right, waives their right to this relief. So if you file anything when you could have filed this, you waive your right.
All right. So
period.
Okay.
End of story.
You've
But,
made your
like,
point.
But
let me do the counter argument.
At the point that we're at, yes, they should have known that, and it's not a question. Like, that's just how the process happens.
All right, let me run the counter argument. Right, if say you invite me to come to a barbecue on Saturday, and I say I may come. In your mind, using that language, I may. Is that a guarantee that I will, or a guarantee that I won't, or could be either?
I don't disagree with you on this part of the
But that
argument.
is the case law.
Yes,
So
no,
the case
I completely understand.
when the Supreme Court wrote the case law, they used the word a further motion may be a waiver. It didn't say a further motion is a waiver.
No, I agree. I completely agree with all of that.
Right. So the law is not being applied.
This is just a way deeper conversation than the surface level, how this is going to be processed, which is just how it is. Like, this is like DB at Chipotle, and they say, at what point do you double wrap the burrito? And you know, and then you're like, well, let's go look at, like, what the CEO had to say, like, 8 conversations back, as far as, when do you double wrap the burrito?
I mean, okay,
right,
but
like, they're completely
right.
Look, he already has this direction. Like, it's just black and white. You do or you don't. Like, you've just got your checkbox. Is it ripped?
Yeah, who gave Justin Faulkner that instruction?
Yes.
Who gave Justin Faulkner that instruction?
Your burrito. That's it. Like, there's no question here. Like, you
who
just
gave
do
that
it
instruction?
one way or the other. But
come on, when you work at Chipotle or
conversation.
McDonald's, you get clear instructions. So who gave Justin Faulkner the instruction to do it that way? Because it's not applying the law properly.
Hey, man, dude, you have the best avenue of research and of How
That's what I'm saying. It's a complete due process black hole. Like, it's not applying the law properly that he decides yes or no, because the case law leaves discretion.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, continue to look into it. Like, what is the due process here? Like, how do you challenge this? Like, how do you get this law changed? Because it's not Richard Allen that has been fucked by this. Like, there were 4 other cases this year that had the exact same justification. They all unilaterally were told that their rights were waived, and they didn't get a new judge when they really wanted one. It's not just a Richard Allen thing. That's the thing.
But somebody has to challenge it. So maybe
I'm saying,
Ara,
do the
Wanaka,
research.
and maybe
Do the research and figure out
Rosie should do it.
how you challenge this.
Yeah. So imagine DB goes to work tomorrow at Chipotle, and the instructions have changed, and they say you may double wrap if you want. Is he going to double wrap for his customers or not?
Hey man, I'm not. I don't disagree with you on the may.
I'm glad.
The may or the may not like stuff. I agree with you completely.
Yeah, and it needs to be challenged. Somebody should challenge it.
It's more a matter of how do you challenge it, because
you'd have to sue the state. It'd be a federal appeal against the state of Indiana, I think, because the way they've set it up is that this.
Yeah, but you have to substantiate yourself in a particular case, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
which case? This case?
This one could do it for sure.
Well, hey, somebody should knock themselves out, because this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
People shouldn't have their rights waived to, like, it's such a one-off situation where you get your judge removed and they clearly are not following the rules of, I have 30 days to rule on this, and I'm just going to not. Fuck that judge. Get them off, dude. Like it's such a weird situation that ever exists, because we're looking at like 40 cases this entire year where this has ever happened.
Is it that many this year?
Yeah.
We're only halfway through the year.
Right. Yeah, that's it. This is why people didn't know to tell us. This is why people didn't know anything about, lawyers didn't know anything about this. These lawyers didn't know anything about this. It's such a random one-off situation where someone pursues this and knows what actually happens or what the case law is behind it.
Maybe it depends. I guess we'll see what they do next, right? Like, I'm hoping they have the guts to challenge it. From speaking to, certain people, I'm not sure the appetite is there. But
dude, I think there's a lot of room to shoot this to the Supreme Court for an original action. It in no way needs to be any exterior attorney. It can 100% be these attorneys, Baldwin and Rosie.
Yeah,
Judge Gall said she wasn't biased. They can completely just shoot that right back to the Supreme Court and say, yes, the fuck she is. And then they will rule on it. And I think they've got a lot of backing as far as documentation. And right now they have even more, because even though this is a ruling that went in their favor, because it wasn't ever going to go in their favor, it clearly documents the timeline that she did not rule on things in the time frame that she is supposed to. Nothing more clearly documents this. That's the missing piece as far as, in my perspective, as far as this is nothing is more clearly demonstrated that Judge Gall is very clearly complicit in not ruling on something that she definitely should have within the time frame that she definitely should have. And now it's on Supreme Court, stationary, signed and stamped. There it is. And there's no getting around it. It's just clearly documented.
I hear Justin Faulkner actually might not have signed it himself. Maybe I think he's.
No,
I think they Joe Biden'd him, and
dude,
I think
all these people don't worry. They're not gonna forge these signatures, man.
Well, clearly they don't need to because there's such a huge amount of power in that man's hands that is unchecked. It doesn't have a check and balance, and that's the root of tyranny, frankly.
Justin Faulkner, no, dude, he's just like a fucking administrative assistant, dude. Relax and leave Justin Faulkner alone.
I think he wants to be a lawyer. I think he missed his chance.
I assume that he definitely is a lawyer. That's.
To assume makes an ass out of you and me. You know that, right?
He's not processing through this through a lens that, he's finally qualified. I googled the guy. He's fine. There's no reason this guy can't make this type of decision. I don't know where this started. So that's more open-ended. Is he involved in how this process started or why this case law is cited? Those are open-ended questions. I think
that's interesting. That's interesting.
That's where the next level of investigation should go, as far as who decided that this case law is applicable to this situation at all, because that's highly questionable. This relief should just be available to people, and it's just not concocted to it's not concocted around Rick Allen. It exists. This was never going to be successful. Okay, but should it? Yes.
And it wasn't long ago.
Should it is a fair question. It applies to a lot more people than just him, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. People should have their rights. Period.
If this trial was happening, I think it was even less than 20 years ago, this lazy judge process would have happened a different way, and they would have had a final step to be able to challenge that kind of decision before the Justin Faulkner office was created, which is kind of crazy, really.
Well,
there was no legislative.
So I've only seen this from you. What's the date that this was created?
So I see there's one change in the law that was just last year, but I think
just last year.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude. So during this trial.
Yeah, but don't quote me on that, because I think there might have been another change that was at some point in the last decade. So, but there's been two major changes. One of them came out of Indiana state legislation, and one of them came out of a change in the trial rules. But it wasn't long ago. And prior to that, what you would have had is a lazy judge press P, and then if you got a decision you disagreed with, you could still go back to the Supreme Court and ask a judge to make that fine definition. By integrating it into the Supreme Court, you're in a position where if you don't agree with that decision, you have to ask the court to review itself in a way, which I think the lawyers are.
I don't think that's even an option right now, which is the real due process problem.
Yeah. and you have to live there.
I think
What happens if they come after you for something? Don't you feel you're not worried about
I don't break any laws, man.
Maybe Richard Allen didn't.
Right. I mean, I do consider that.
What's the cultural thing that is? I tried to get this out of Kara a few weeks ago, but is it like a heavy-handedness, or like is it something in the culture that is more inclined towards like law and order that you think might have bled into the kind of some of the due process stuff we've seen?
I mean, long answer short, yes. Indiana is an extremely, extremely red state, and I don't know what to say about these people, but they're bootlickers, man. Like I don't know. It's like I can almost definitely tell everybody that, like, Rick Allen's like a regular Joe, a regular Indiana Joe. He was probably a Trumper, and like, fine. It doesn't change anything about anything. It just doesn't. His rights are still his rights. I don't know anything about Rick Allen. I don't have to.
Exactly. In theory, you shouldn't necessarily even know his name, his face, gender, whatever. He's just defendant A, and the state
Right.
is coming for him.
Right. And like it's totally incumbent on the state to provide, some assuredness that they've got the right guy, and they've never done any such thing. It's not even close.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bounce. Is DB? Are you coming back? Or where's he gone?
No, he's gone, but we can end this. That's fine.
All right. It was good to talk.
Yep.
And
unless anybody in chat wants to come talk,
you should play the Tom Webster video for a bit.
Oh man, I can't. I can't. Listening to it one time was as long as I can listen to it.
Yeah. All right, man. Have a good night.
May have entered the studio a second time. I'm not really sure. Anyway, this one is half as long as the last stream, so chalking it up as a win. Oh, Mandy, hold on. I forgot how many people I told I was going to make mods on here. I'm looking for my Okay, that was a lot of work to make Mandy Ray as a moderator. Man, like I have no idea what I'm doing here. Anyway, I don't know what's going on at Frosty's channel, but maybe we'll just all go over there, or maybe we won't. You know, you have your own discretion for whatever you do, and I am out. But Mandy Ray is a moderator, as it was meant to be. Peace, y'all.